Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Stuart Allen Swerdlow.
And Janet Diane Moria Swerdlow.
And this is the Expansions News Podcast for the third week of March 2020. And it's a very freezing cold day here in Michigan. Of course, we haven't seen the sun since, I think, October, but that's okay.
It's spring.
Yeah, it's spring.
Spring in Michigan.
Well, last year we had snow till April 25th.
We had snow on the first day of spring, didn't we?
It snowed yesterday. Anyway, so here we are. Not really locked down, but everything's closed. So where are you going to go? No place to go. We're stuck home. I work from home anyway, so I don't even know the difference anyway. But I'm working actually harder than ever. So,
What about me?
I have no idea. All I see flying around, blah, 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 doing things, doing your nails and your hair, blah, blah. Yeah, real hard.
Yeah, I can't do that anymore. My salon shut down out of fear.
Oh, poor thing, your salon shut down and you
Out of
need
fear.
emergency services.
I might.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea for someone.
Yeah, my salon shut down too, but
Yeah.
I take care of it myself.
Well, you can't help it. You're beautiful anyway.
I just wake up like this.
The pretty
and,
one, and I have to have a lot more maintenance, as you know.
Yeah.
High maintenance. That would
Yeah,
be me.
okay, back to me.
High maintenance.
Thank you very much.
High maintenance.
Anyway, the only news is the stupid coronavirus. And so I don't have a lot, but I have a lot to tell you. What I found absolutely incredible is that Minnesota Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar, you know how I like her so much. I was so upset when she married that white guy. You know, she divorced her husband and she married this white guy who actually officiated at their wedding himself.
Yeah, but didn't she divorce her brother?
She divorced her brother. We don't even know. She's been married to like everybody.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah, she's a hoe.
She's a good Muslim.
She's
right?
a hoe. Yeah, real good Muslim. As long as she wears her hat,
Right.
covers everything, and her lipstick and her earrings.
So you can't really see her.
No, yeah, she's a real
Good
real
way to
good Muslim.
hide.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, she unexpectedly praised President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, saying it was, quote, incredible and the right response in this critical time.
Jeez.
I almost fell on the floor.
Why did she change her tune?
Well, I'll tell you. Omar normally is a critic of the White House
Yeah.
and has repeatedly drawn the president's anger and went on to quote, here's another brainiac, Representative Ayanna Pressley from Massachusetts. She basically spends all her day watching soap operas, as saying unprecedented times require unprecedented leadership. Isn't that brilliant? She probably looked that up all like for a week before she wrote it. We are seeing that in our country right now, finally, we should never let politics get in the way of good policy. Yeah, how about you should have done that for the last year?
This is back to Omar.
Omar, yeah,
right?
Omar said, this is a great start and hope others will be part of a united front to push for good policies that will help us work through the economic anxiety the country is feeling right now. What the heck happened to her? Well, let me explain to you what happened to her, because she's being investigated by ICE for immigration fraud, and she knows she's in deep doo-doo, so she's trying to make nice to the president, nice, don't deport me. You know what? You're going back to Somalia.
Because he did pardon a bunch of people, so maybe
Yeah,
she
not
wants-
her.
Maybe she wanted to be on that list.
She's out of here. Her praise for the president was matched by, guess who? New York Governor Andrew Cuomo,
Wow.
who said his team is on it. They've been responsive. I want to thank you to the president. But wait, it gets even more Twilight Zone. CNN's Dana Bash asserted that Trump's new tone on the coronavirus made him the kind of leader that people need.
Wow.
Am I in another dimension?
I think so.
Hello, CNN, Omar, Cuomo? What the heck is going on?
Well, you know what's
I
going
know
on.
what's going on because they're afraid for their butts. And then Trump evoked a rarely used emergency powers to marshal critical medical supplies against the coronavirus pandemic. Trump tapped his authority under the 70-year-old, that's close to your age, 70-year-old Defense Production Act to give the government more power to steer production by private companies and try to overcome shortages in masks, ventilators, and other supplies. We had our exterminator show up yesterday with a mask. I said, "Get that stupid thing off your face right now." And he did. Took it down. And then I breathed on him.
And he breathed on you.
I know. I liked it.
I know.
Anyway, of course, President is being criticized because he calls it the Chinese virus, which they say is racist. Why is that racist? We have the Spanish influenza, German measles. Is that racist?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, seriously.
Yep.
Because it comes from where that comes from.
Apparently, you can't come from anywhere now.
But here's something interesting. The government has told Americans to avoid groups of more than 10 people and the elderly to stay home while a pointed reminder is given to millennials, who are so stupid, to follow the guidelines and avoid social gatherings, and it would require a national sacrifice. You know what? I'm glad to stay away from people. It's like, I don't even want 2 people near me, let alone 10. And he said, it's a war, and it is. He says, I view it as, in a sense, I'm a wartime president. It's very tough. Yes, he is. And I'll tell you why. Because even he referred to the State Department recently as the Deep State Department, so he knows what's going on. And the reason that he wants less than 10 people gathering, that's a reference to Q, because I told you Q is a group of less than 10. He's giving a reference to that. And there's a war between good and evil, which is the final battle, which is referred to in, of course, Book of Revelations and so on. But now go to your country, Venice, Italy. Do you know that the canals are the cleanest they've been in living memory?
That's what they claim, yes.
And the lockdown has left the water so clear that fish have become visible.
And dolphins.
Dolphins? I didn't see
Yeah,
that
dolphins
part.
and swans, yeah.
They're like floating. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what they're showing.
It's like La La Land.
It's like Disneyland.
Seriously.
Because in Venice-
Don't even say Disney. They were in big trouble. Anyway, since the lockdown, you can see schools of fish underwater, and white swans, white hats, are roaming the canals, which have been deserted because there's no tourists. And scientists say nitrogen oxide levels have dropped over northern Italy since the country went into quarantine, and air pollution has declined over northern Italy. So Italy, by the way, they say now Italy it has worse than China ever was. But Italy has the oldest population in Europe, so obviously more people are going to die anyway, and which is normal. But the virus reports are fake because the World Health Organization, the World Health Organization, the test kits are up to 80% false positive. And that's why Hillary and all these other Democrats, where's the test? Where's the test? Yeah, because the more people that test, the more they'll come up with coronavirus because it's fake positive. That pisses me off. That's a good thing I'm wearing my astronaut diaper. Anyway, I'm sure you heard about the 5.7 magnitude earthquake that hit Salt Lake City.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Guess what happened?
I know what happened. That's pretty
Yes,
significant.
it caused damage to the angel Moroni, or Moron, on the top of Salt Lake City Temple of the Latter-day Saints Church. And guess what? It dropped the trumpet. Mm-hmm. Moroni is not an angel. It's actually the name of a demonic entity. It's not an angel. And so this icon was placed on the top spire of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints on April 6th, 1892. That's like near your birthday.
Close.
Yeah. And the arm photos show that the trumpet is gone, as well as part of the statue's arm. So, it's currently closed, this temple is, while it undergoes a seismic upgrade. And it was the biggest casualty of the quake was the Salt Lake City airport that had intact runways but was evacuated and no incoming or outgoing flights. So, this is very symbolic because trumpet equals Trump, E.T., Trump, E.T.
Like Jan E.T.
Yeah, we're talking about Trump.
I'm talking
Trump
about
ET.
Jan
Okay,
ET.
I'm not, so
I am.
back to me.
I am.
Stay there.
Jan E.T.
Fake beliefs being shaken, and demons cannot handle Trump. They can't hold on to Trump. That was the whole thing. And there are underground caverns near Salt Lake City that are being destroyed, and that is because underneath Salt Lake City area, that is where those gigantic intergalactic spaceships are being built. And those of you who attended my January class, our January class, know I've spoken about this, and now all those underground bases are being destroyed. Now, also, President Trump has spoken about chloroquine, which is a cure for the so-called coronavirus. And if I may, chloroquine was used to treat malaria, and so was methylene blue. So this is the same thing.
And we've got this now, the blue block.
Blue block. You'll talk about that in a moment.
Okay.
But yes, chloroquine, methylene blue, same thing. And here I will tell you that there is an artificial intelligence, or AI, alien signal, that is enhanced by 5G that creates the virus symptoms. That is what's going on, people. There really is no virus. It's AI, 5G combination that creates the symptoms and the death. Now, Hollywood has no access to adrenochrome, removed from scared children from their pineal gland when they're being terrified. So I want you to look at Will Ferrell, Ellen DeGeneres, Kathy Griffith, and so on. They look like 100-year-old people because they don't have adrenochrome anymore, and they have aged exponentially. Tom Hanks, according to a very high-level Hollywood source, like really high-level Hollywood source, is soon to be exposed in a very negative way, and he is not in Australia. He does not have coronavirus. He's being held in an American detention center.
Yeah. Now this blue block, you can see the picture on it. It's about blocking the radio and microwave waves that are coming at you. And this is an after
How
shower
do you use
spray.
it?
You just
So you take a shower,
yeah, and then you just spray it and you just rub
but
it.
to turn you blue.
It has blue.
Turn my whole
Yeah,
clothes
it has
blue.
a little blue on it, so but it's not. I haven't seen
You want
it.
to spray it on my arm?
You want me to?
Why not show them?
I don't know if they can see it.
Over here, not on my.
It's a bad, it's a bad
burning me.
angle.
What? No,
It's a
not.
bad angle.
Well,
Let me
just
use this.
use this one.
Here. There. See, it's kind of blue.
Aha.
But I don't know
Can
if
you
they can
see that?
see that. And then you just rub it on.
Ooh, it feels so nice and smoothie.
Yeah. So this I just received, which is made by the same company as this.
So now I'm immune from coronavirus.
This is not on the website yet.
Can you
but
put
we're
it in your
process of
mouth?
getting it on. I don't know. I don't think so. I think you should use this.
Methylene blue, I drink it every day
Yeah. Well, we
in
don't.
distilled water.
And so somebody asked me, how long does it last? You start off with one drop, especially if you're sick. You don't want to start off with too many drops. And you use it. You add a drop every day until your urine turns green.
It feels so cool and wonderful.
Now I use
right
the
now.
Methylene Blue Plus, and for my size, I took 4 drops, and it turned mine blue right away.
See,
I mean green.
Mine doesn't.
No, yeah, green.
Yep, it's
Then you're not taking enough.
No, it's because if you're taking a lot of vitamin C, the vitamin C makes the methylene blue turn clear.
Trust, nobody takes more vitamin C than me. Remember I told you about the vitamin C powder? Okay, 10,000 grams a day for me.
That's a lot.
And 4 drops. I cut back on this,
No wonder you're weird.
but my urine was still green with 4 drops. So I had to cut back on the Methylene Blue Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I have cut that back this to about 5,000. So
I think that's better for you.
yeah, for my size. But the point is, that there are things out there, and which I'll talk about a little bit in my report here about
Okay.
your mind.
Mhm.
But I have also just a few news stories. I have to be very select because, as you know, it's all over the place. And my message to you is not to panic.
No panic.
No panic, because it's over there, and I've got some very good information about that.
Go.
So for the first thing is now they're starting to show the National Guard on the streets.
But only in certain places.
Only in certain places. Now, according to this, however, that they've been activated in 28 states, and there's 3,300 Guard personnel activated so far.
But that's not really a lot. Out of 360 million people. That's not a lot.
They are saying that there's going to be there could be up to tens of thousands, according to the Air Force General Joseph Lenjo, who's chief of the National Guard Bureau. So he says we anticipate that number, 3,300, going up relatively quickly, in fact doubling by this weekend. I'm expecting tens of thousands to be used inside the states as this grows, and this could quickly blossom in the next couple of weeks.
Let me explain something.
Go
here.
ahead.
This is to prevent the deep state from creating false flag terrorist attacks. It's for your own safety and protection, and it is also to prevent the evil ones from escaping.
Yes, and so the thing is now they're starting to show on Facebook, the National Guard arriving. So there is a certain amount of fear that people are seeing. And I talked about last week about martial law. There's the words martial law starts to scare people.
Mm-hmm.
But as Stuart is explaining to you, sometimes it's for your own protection. There is a reason why you are here in this reality at this moment in time.
You came here for a reason. You
So,
came to watch the show.
That's right. So we're not going to fade into the panic, period. But that's why I want to lay some of these things out for you. So right now they're saying that the Guard units are training to support the medical professionals, to run the coronavirus test, to build hospitals. Of course, when people start seeing makeshift hospitals, they start getting afraid. My feeling is those hospitals are for more containment purposes
First of
for
all,
the evil ones.
As of this morning, China has 0 new cases. 0.
Yeah, and the Pentagon has expected some hospital ships to New York Harbor. So all these things that might provoke panic in you, I believe, are really to protect you. Now, to show how worried the military is, I found this article about quarantined soldiers mingling with healthy troops, spending just 2 days in isolation instead of 14, and they shared communal barracks.
Right.
At Fort Hood, Fort Bliss in Texas, it said military policemen from the Missouri National Guard who are meant to be in quarantine in Fort Bliss for a week and a half are moving freely around the base. It said that they mixed with the non-quarantine soldiers at the chow hall, and civilians carrying out maintenance work came into contact with them. They slept in the same barracks.
Right.
They used the
With
same
each other?
latrines.
With each other?
With the same barracks.
Oh.
Not the same beds. So, and they were served food by non-quarantine soldiers. So it's
because there is no virus, people. There is no virus.
It's telling me that the military isn't concerned.
Because they know that it's not true.
So they always have to tell you the truth. You just may not see it. So it's our job to tell you what the truth is, so you don't buy into the fear.
Yeah, you can accept or reject, but there's no virus.
That's right. So then it's also, I had this other article about nervous Americans who are buying guns as sales skyrocket across the country and long lines form outside hunting shops amid the coronavirus fears, especially California, New York, and Washington.
Well,
And some people are saying they're going to protect their family should supplies run out, and other people think...
Okay, listen. There are no supplies running out.
Yeah, the president said that he's working with federal, state, and local governments, with all retail leaders, including Walmart, Costco, Target, Whole Foods, and Publix, and several more, to make sure there's no shortage of goods and food. And also, some people are afraid the government's going to restrict your ability to buy a gun, so they want to get them. And this one I thought was very interesting. It says the Asian Americans are buying weapons to protect themselves from potential racist attacks.
That's really
Silly.
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
There's no reason to attack anyone.
No. And then an online ammunition store called ammo.com said it's seen an increase of 68% in sales since Italy's outbreak. So again, Trump is urging Americans not to stockpile food and told citizens to take it easy. Vice President Mike Pence insisted the food stores will stay open indefinitely.
Yes.
And Trump insists, which I agree, the outbreak is under tremendous control.
Because there isn't one. He knows. He said, I know the truth and I can't say it. He said this.
Now, I saw a thing on one of the papers today, or one of the news services, and it says in New York, they're dying, 2 people are dying every hour. So I thought, okay, let me look
That's
up.
news propaganda.
Okay, well, I want to tell you what I found out, because I kind of told you about this last week, but I'm going to a little bit more detail, because this is information from the CDC here in the U.S. Based on weekly influenza surveillance data. Let's see, I want to make sure I get this in order. Okay, so the CDC, based on their data from October 1st of 2019 to February 1st of 2020, That's 4 months, 30 days in a month, 120 days. That means, based on what the CDC said, at least 12,000 people have died. That means at the lower end of it, that means that over 1 per hour have died of regular flu.
Of regular, more than that, they die of heart attack, stroke,
Yeah,
and they call it coronavirus.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about regular flu. Regular flu, according to CDC, regular
it's a big scam.
research.
It's a propaganda.
So if we have, and they're saying that in a normal flu season, it could go up to 61,000 deaths.
Right, but no one reports on that every year.
Oh, and also in this 4-month period, they said on the high end that maybe 30,000 people have died. So that's 250 per day, or over 10 people per hour.
That's just a normal.
That's normal flu from, and this in the last 4 months before all this craziness started.
Right.
Now, in a general year, usually they say flu season lasts through May. In a general year, through May. So they say that between 12,000 and 61,000 deaths annually. So at the low end, that's 33 deaths. 33 deaths. Gotta follow my notes here. Okay.
Per day.
Yeah, 33 deaths per day, 165 per day on the higher end of it. Okay, so it's a lot of people dying anyway.
And that's every year,
from
but that's never reported.
From regular flu. Well, it's there, you just have to look. Now, the WHO, globally, they say the flu, in a general flu season, we're looking at a whole year, 300,000 to 650,000 people per year die of the flu.
Right, and how many have died of the coronavirus so far?
That runs from 35 to 75 people per hour in the whole world, on the average, that die every day from the flu, regular flu.
More people die from car accidents.
800 to 1,800 per day
You'd be more
die
afraid. You should be
of the
afraid
flu.
to get in your car rather than get the flu.
25,000 to 54,000 per month. So this is why I'm telling you, all this other stuff, 2 people an hour in New York are dying of the flu. Oh my God. Don't panic
And how
over
many
that.
dying of car accidents and strokes and heart attacks and everything on HIV?
So do your research so the media isn't panicking you. Now, in Israel, there's an Israeli virologist, Jihad Bishara. Is that how you would say that?
Jihad Bishara.
Jihad Bishara. Okay, he's a leading Israeli virologist. He's the director of the infectious disease unit. You have to read this one, Petah,
Petah Tikva.
and this word,
Beilinson.
hospital. He says the virus is not airborne. Most people who are infected will recover without even knowing they're sick.
Don't even know they have it.
The at-risk groups are now known. The global panic is unnecessary and
There you
exaggerated.
go. Thank you, Israel.
He says, I've been in this business for 30 years. I've been through MRSA, SARS, Ebola, the first Gulf War, the second, and I don't recall anything like this. There's unnecessary, exaggerated panic. We have to calm people down.
Exactly.
He says people are thinking that there's a kind of virus, it's in the air, it's going to attack every one of us, and whoever is attacked is going to die. He goes on to say that's not the way it is at all. It's not in the air. Not everyone who is infected dies. Most of them will get better and won't even know they were sick or will have a bit of mucus. But in Israel and around the world, he says everybody is whipping everybody else up into a panic, the leaders via the media and the wider public, who then in turn start to stress out the leaders, and we've entered a vicious cycle. Now this is his next note, which is very interesting.
Tell me.
He says the virus does not appear to be too intelligent. Unlike the flu, he says, which is very intelligent, it changes, adapts, and it infects people via their airway passages. This one doesn't do that. He said, at this stage, we know how the virus behaves, how it spreads, which groups are in danger. We know now that this virus is primarily dangerous to older people, to people with a history of chronic disease, and those who are immunocompromised, which is, this is the way it is for every flu season.
Yeah, exactly.
He said,
or with any disease.
The first thing people have to do is calm down. So this is out of Israel. Now here's another one. This guy, Richard Shabazz, is a retired physician. He was Ontario's Chief Medical Officer of Health for 10 years, was Chief of Staff at York Central Hospital during the SARS crisis, and he says, is COVID-19 a global crisis? Certainly for people who cannot add. Over the past month, the geography of it has changed, but the global numbers are becoming smaller. By the numbers, this is the incredible shrinking pandemic. If we accept that testing capacity and vigilance have increased substantially in the past month. This observation is even more powerful. First, he says far more cases are out there than being reported because most, as the other guy said, have no symptoms. Testing capacity is limited. And he says if we extrapolate the number of reported deaths, the real number is probably closer to 2 million, which is only 0.5%, which the vast majority being mild or asymptomatic. Let's see.
That's from Canada.
This is from Canada. He
That's
says
pretty good for Canada.
the actual rate of new cases is probably at least 10,000 a day, but if the numbers sound high, remember the world is a big place.
8 billion people.
He said the Hubei, is that how you say that? Hubei?
Yeah, Hubei.
The Hubei outbreak, he said by far the largest and kind of worst case scenario winding down. The number of deaths was comparable to an average influenza season, which is
Right.
what I'm telling you.
Exactly.
He said that's not nothing, but it's not catastrophic. And it isn't enough to overwhelm a competent healthcare system, which means we don't need to be going out and doing more hospitals.
That's right.
And he agrees with the Israeli virologist and says COVID-19 is just not very transmissible among humans. When it comes to pandemic potential, transmissibility is not the most important thing, it's the only thing. And he said when COVID-19 finds what he would call a sweet spot, he says a cruise ship, a South Korean church, an Italian hospital, it can spread. The bug has a nasty bite, but these are exceptions, not the rule. And the vast majority of infected people spread the disease to precisely no one.
You should put that on your blog.
He says we need to be sensible that quarantine belongs back in the Middle Ages. Save your mask for robbing banks.
Yeah.
Stay calm and carry
So
on.
he's promoting robbery.
Let's not make our attempted cures worse than the disease, okay?
You should put this on the site.
Okay, well, I put a lot of stuff on the site, but I'm just telling you that it's the fear and panic that caused this illness.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you,
Which doesn't exist anymore.
with those of you who have Decoding Your Life, okay, in here it talks about the color of fear. The color of fear is actually a pus color.
Ooh.
Ooh, everything has color, tone, and archetype, which is what we teach you. So when you get fear and you create this pus color in your energy field, all this low frequency stuff then is you're opening up your field so it can get in and attack you. The fear is going to get you before this is going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
So read this book, and I took some of our things for you. That there's certain things that you can do very easily. These are in our books. We have lots of colored pictures for you. It's in this book.
Yes, but I also want to mention about the Sephirot that I wrote about in the Template of God, Mind, I Believe.
And well, we have it in here too.
Yeah, and if you work with that, nothing could happen
Yeah,
to you.
we have that. I mean, we have so much work that you can do yourself. It's the fear, and we teach you to take care of your mind. So here, remember, this is the correct chakra band color that you will use. Now, you never flush yourself in white.
No.
Because white loosens you from your chakra system, and that's how people die. And that's why the New Age said flesh and white, go to the white light, all that. No, 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 no. A billion times no. You want to use these colors to button yourself in, and do not flush yourself in white. Okay? Here is, you want to flush yourself in medium green, which is oxygenates you, your system. It helps heal. The things you don't need leave. And I have in my Decoding Your Life book, the book I just showed you how you use, create with your mind. You pull your energy field in, and around yourself you create a violet bubble, which I showed you the color violet last week. It's actually at the top of this book here. Okay, violet. And then you put a mirror on the outside to deflect things back. Your mind is very strong. And if you want to get into more advanced work, we have the Ultimate Protection Technique, which is in this book. And like I said, all of these things are in here in color for you to help you if you have issues with visualization. You want to keep your T-bar balanced, or you can use your pineal gland archetype, which is a royal blue circle with a dot in the middle up here. That will help you. What else do I have to make sure that you do? Okay, fasting. Fasting helps to reset the animal mind, because the animal mind is what feels fear and panic. The spiritual mind is not going to be afraid. Both of these books, My Heights of Health, Stewart's Alternative Medical Apocrypha, we have information in here to help you boost your immune system and boost the immune system of your mind, because if you don't take care of your mind, the rest of you is going to falter. So it's the animal mind that is afraid. It's afraid it won't have food. It's afraid it won't have shelter or clothes. It's afraid. That's the animal mind. So the spiritual mind has to take control of the animal body.
And I will remind all of you that 2 years ago, Q said on a post that the storm is coming. And also said, and President Xi from China said, after the storm, the sun will come out.
Yeah. And we have been telling our people for many years, get your body ready, get your mind ready. Because I will tell you, when you fast is not about starvation. Fasting is something else. I have on our website, we have a fasting package that is, it's a webinar that's free to our members that explains that. So you can go 5-10 days on steam distilled water only without starving. Because it's a process, it doesn't happen overnight. It's in these books I just showed you as well. But you can start, if you're at home, you can start doing some gentle fasting with your body. The way I teach it, I told you before, I have fasted for over 40 years. I am a fasting expert. So I have all this on the website and you can help. So if you say you don't have money for food or whatever, perfect time. Steam distilled water, and get yourself started. You can do it. Okay, and what else did I want to tell you about? If you get afraid, and that happens, I understand, you pass that up out of your energy field, you give it to whatever you want to call your source, God, power, it doesn't matter, and you infuse yourself with the color maroon, which is courage.
Or you can whistle a happy tune.
Yes, all
and
that
no one
helps.
will suspect that you're afraid.
Yeah, because everything helps to elevate your frequency so you're not vibrating at this lower rate, and that's what they want you to do to make you sick, and it's up to you to prove that you're not. And the other thing is everybody's now also talking about all over the internet, what's happening, what's going to happen, oh, I'm so afraid. Again, fear. Instead of focusing on the future, think about the present moment and deal with now.
That's true.
Because that creates your reality. So, it's just like if you're in a tornado or hurricane, your house stands and your neighbor's house falls. Well, why? It's still a function of mind pattern. And that's what we teach you. It's obviously too much for a podcast, but it's out there in our books, in our webinars, everything we do, it's there. So when you feel afraid, there are things you can do because that's what will get you before anything else. So, and I will tell you something else you can do, which I found very fascinating. You're going to love this treatment. You just love it. In India.
You're aggressing me.
Yes, I am. In India, did you know that so far, of all those people, they only have about 200 cases, 84 cases and 2 deaths in all of India. Now, let me tell you the secret.
Curry.
Close. Apparently, the All India Hindu Union, as well as leaders from the Prime Minister's Hindu Nationalist Party, and a leader from India's northern eastern state of Assam, have given the secret to the coronavirus.
Tell me about
I'm going to. Cow urine and cow dung.
That's what I had for breakfast.
Apparently, they claim that if you drink cow urine and you bathe in cow dung, you're going to be cured of the coronavirus.
And that's why there's so many skinny people in India, because that's what they eat.
So my point is, if you don't want to drink cow urine and drink dung, or what viruses, or whatever, we've given you lots of things here, lots of tools that you can use to help yourself and take control of your own self because, and we tell you this a billion times, I'll grab this book, 13 cubed. If you don't take care of your own mind, somebody else is going to do it for
and
you.
the sequel's coming out real soon.
Yeah, so hopefully 2 months or less, depending on everything
I
goes.
finished it a long time ago.
Well, it takes time for everything to get together. So the one thing I want to also remind you to help assuage your fears about your future. Now, I don't care what anybody else is telling you out there. I don't care what the media is telling you. If you watch from a global perspective, this shutdown of the world has been happening very systematically.
And for a reason.
They're closing down and closing down and closing down and closing down, which tells you there's also a plan to open everything back up.
Right.
So it doesn't go into chaos.
Exactly.
So do not
Dark to light.
have fear. You take care of your mind before somebody else takes care of it for you. So I don't really have
That's
any...
why I let my mind, you can take care of my mind.
So the point is still, we, most of our trips and everything, we're not even taking registrations because people are afraid. We don't know what's going to happen.
Even though there's really no reason not to go.
But right now, the only thing we do have going, which is still important, we still have April session and May session webinar open based on this book. So we still have openings If you're interested, and some of the older ones you can purchase on our pay-per-view, some are free to our members. But anyway, we have things. We're doing our best. You know, it's not that we don't get our own stuff from time to time, because we do. It's a way of body's cleaning, the mind is cleaning out, the body has to clean out. It happens. But it's not a tragedy, and don't turn it into a tragedy just because you know how. And don't follow the panic just because you know how. That's ridiculous.
Don't listen to the propaganda.
But I will tell you, obey the rules and the laws that are set up there for you now. Let's not go crazy about stuff, because where you put your focus on, it grows. We don't want to put our focus on this. We want to call it like this guy did, the incredible shrinking pandemic. You know, these guys know what they're talking about.
On the news, I say, oh, this is what you should think, and this is how you should wash your hands, and this is what you should. It's like, come on.
You should be doing that anyway.
Yeah,
You should be washing your hands, and you should be taking care of things. You know, and in socially
They
distancing,
make people
really.
like they're morons. Well, people are morons, but they have to tell them, like, you know, how to remove their eyeballs every day.
Well, I don't think anybody had toilet paper until this happened.
What the heck is that about?
So I'm saying this
Oh,
is...
and speaking of that, did you see Nancy Pelosi with her toilet paper earrings?
No.
It proves that her brain, you know, she's a toilet.
Yeah, and then she's going in a loop,
Yeah.
like that,
She's
loop-de-loop.
her mouth is a toilet, and the toilet paper was right on either side of it.
So anyway, with that said, please take care of yourselves, and most important, take care of your mind, and use the things you know to take care of your body, and don't go crazy. Do what you need to do, and that's it. Anything else? Oh, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Website, expansions.com. Get a membership, less than $1 a day, $26 US per month. You know, so there's lots of things to do, and we have lots of free information all over the internet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
And people, calm down, behave. It'll soon be over, and the sun'll come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Please vote for me. Please vote for me.
As your favorite,
on America Has Talent.
yeah, as your favorite emperor penguin.
No, I'm a Scorpion Emperor. Bye for now.
Bye.